Hello everybody and welcome to this fifth live stream of the year. My name is Matthew, you may know me, you may not know me, and today we're going to talk about the amazing routes that you can do here in Norway in the early season. It's May right now, it is incredible weather across the whole country, or at least the southern part of the country. It's getting warmer, people's moods are changing, people are happier, people are out drinking coffee, it's just amazing time. And yeah, here we are. This is the season, the cycling season is upon us. As you can see, I'm not in Oslo. I'm just in this random forest right now. I don't know how good the internet connection is, but it's a running joke. It's a running joke. I'm sorry. I could do that every time. But I remember this well. This is a route. You can start from Oslo and you head north towards Jotunheimen on this, and these gravel roads no one knows about. But that route is for another time, not today. I've got two other routes to show you today. We're going to talk through them, why they're so good to do in May, what you need to know about them, and then all the information you'll be able to find on cyclenorway.com. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm just going to check to see if things are working. Seems like it's working to me. So if you've got any comments, go ahead in the comment box. Hello. Shavan, hello. So I'm missing doing YouTube. I make YouTube videos, and if you're unaware, and I miss so much not being able to make them. And I've spent the last 5 months sat in front of a computer screen, as I did last year, putting together cyclenorway.com, which is now launched. It is a quiet launch because I'm still sorting out bugs and all the rest of it, but the new website is available and I'll show you it. I'm going to give you a little quick guided tour of the website, and then we're going to go through and just talk about these really cool routes to do in May. And yeah, that's basically the plan. Hello, Jesper's here, Rod is here, great audio, perfect, cool. All right, so let me introduce to you Cycle Norway Mark II. Mark II. This is not Cycle Norway Mark II. This is the weather in Bergen right now. I mean, I've just been staring at this for like 5 minutes. I'm just in awe. I'm like, what am I doing here? I should be in Bergen. That is, just to give you an understanding, Bergen's one of the wettest places in Europe, but once in a while, you get these kind of high pressure come over, and for like 7 to 10 days, you just get incredible weather. And it's like, you know, as close to paradise as you'll get. And right now we're experiencing one of them in Norway. It's good in Oslo, but I mean, in Bergen, it's just mental. I mean, look at this, 26 degrees. Yeah. So if you are in Norway right now cycling, you lucky person. All right, let me introduce to you Cycle Norway Mark II. This is it. Here she is. Basically over 6 months in the making to do this. The design is a lot more simplistic. It's a lot more cleaner. Some people may prefer the old website, but the simple fact of the matter is that this website is going to be faster. It's easier to manage. It's easier to add content to it. It is just going to be so much better to build on in the future. So it was well worth spending the crazy amount of money and time and energy to get this out, because I don't want to stand still with Cycle Norway. I want to make it the best possible. So the first thing you'll notice is the routes are just straight there. You're just straight into routes. And we've got these lovely little route boxes which just simplify it. It's just nice to look through. We've got popular routes which I'll put on. So, for example, Tour de Dover is a very, very popular cycling route. The one's the Fjord Norway, an area of Fjord Norway, which is absolutely amazing. Bergen to Arendalsnes, where you go over the mountains. Gravel routes, if you want to do short or long distance gravel routes, just things, for example, you know, if you've got a weekend and you're in Oslo and you want to just head up to Mjøsa and just do some of the amazing gravel roads around Mjøsa, then here we are. It's all here, documented, etc. And then I have this kind of routes of the month. So that's kind of where I'm talking today as well, is that obviously some routes you can't do until July, and then there's other routes that you don't really want to be doing in July because there's too many mosquitoes or what have you. So each month I'll just add the kind of routes that I recommend for that particular month, because people are always asking me when's the best time to ride in Norway, and it's like depends on what route you want to do. Website simple, fast is good. Great to hear. Hello, Simon. Thank you, everybody, for the feedback. So, yeah, so you've got simple tab sections. This is just a brief outline of the routes. If you want to click on the All Routes button, that'll take you to the main page. There's a brief introduction from me. It's a personal introduction from me to show you that this isn't just some government website. It's not Visit Norway. It's done by an individual with passion and pride who's cycled all over the country. And you've got that kind of quality to it that you can't really have when it's a state organization that's just so big and, just powers out the same old stuff. The need to know section, I'll show you in a moment. It's just so much information. Basically everything which is in my mind, which I've accumulated over the last 5-6 years is on there. Blog entries, not had time to update these because I've been working on the website, but there'll be lots of new blog entries. Some of these will be free to everybody. Some of them will be for members only, but that'll be running throughout the summer when I do trips and such. So it kind of fits in with my YouTube channel as well. Event we'll talk about later on. I mean, it's going to be amazing this year. I really hope as many people can join as possible. Photos, I'm going to talk a little bit about this a little bit later. Photos of the month. So each month we're going to have the best photos from members and from people who are cycling in Norway. I've just set up the month for this one, and I'll send out this link afterwards. At the moment, I'm winning. There I am. My photo's winning at the moment, but I'm sure there's people with better photos. So it's anybody that's cycling right now in May in Norway. Don't upload photos from August last year or what have you, because that's not how it works, okay? It's only for each month. So if you're coming in June, there'll be one in June, and you'll be able to win prizes if you take the best photo, if you get the most votes. So prizes each month. And let's go back to the website. Yeah. And if you want to book a call with me, if you're coming over and you want some consultation with me, you want some help discussing your route, etc., then you can quite easily do that now. It's very simple to book a call with me. So that's the front page, and then I'll just quickly go on to the need to know section. It's so much simplified now. It's just nice, clean. The guy who designed this, his name is Jarman. He's amazing, really, really talented designer. Textbook, like Nordic clean design, very modern. He chose the font. The font here is unbelievably expensive, to say the least, but we decided it was worth spending the money on because we just like the quality of it and how it makes the website stand out. So yeah, just so much information on these. For example, I mean, you just wouldn't believe, just like, for example, tunnels, professional photos that I've had done, just all the information you need to know about tunnels on here. Yeah, it's just the resources. If I had this when I was starting out cycling in Norway, it would have just made life a lot easier. So you can see that's just one page. There's just so many pages with so much information. Yeah. All right, so that's the need to know section. And let's just go to the routes, because this is the meat and bones of the site. Once again, these photos, all professionally done last year. So taking everything seriously here, making this website as best as I can with the budget I have. So once again, we've got the routes, popular and routes of the month up here, the tab sections. And then I just love this now. It's so much easier. It's very difficult when you have so many routes to figure out where to put them all, and a lot of them can overlap, and it can just get really, really messy. And this is trying to keep it as simple as possible, but at the same time show you the diversity of areas in Norway. I mean, there's so much difference between the south of Norway and the north of Norway and the east and the west. So that's every geographical location has its own pages, and then these are all the national cycle routes. You've got the Atlantic coast routes here as well. You've even got cycle routes from the major cities in here. You've got epic climbs for all the major climbs. You've got the Eurovelo routes here for all the long distance Eurovelo routes in Scandinavia, and then you've got the Norwegian scenic routes here as well. So I mean, it's everything you can imagine is on here. I can just give you an example for the Atlantic coasts. Yeah, route, etc. Some of this is from the old site that we've integrated into the new one, but a lot of new pages as well. So let's just go, for example, let's go to the east and just show you. So love that photo. So I was sat on the bike, and then the photographer had to come over and like squeeze in front of me and then try and straighten his camera. Emil got a great photo there. It's a beautiful, beautiful photo. Yeah, so what we have on the geographical locations, we just simplify it to road and gravel. Obviously, there are gravel on some of the road sections, so you see 20% here, 15% is unpaved here. But we try to, with the gravel ones, it's ones which are kind of 30% or more usually. So you'll see, for example, 45%, 75%. This is the one I'm going to show you tonight in a few moments, etc. At the moment, we just have kind of like the map and then a little bit of basic information about them. Over time, all these will have a detailed page, but we're talking it'll take me 2 years to put all the routes in I want and to have detailed pages. Each detailed page usually takes a week to do and that's sat in front of a computer screen for at least 5 days. So anyways, I don't think this, maybe it is working. Yeah, you can see we've got detailed. So these are the ones I've done the detailed pages to, which I'll show you in a moment, where you've got loads of information about. But you'll see straight away the map. This should be a lot closer in. I've got my developer working on these bugs right now, so this will be looking something like this when it's correct. So you can just basically click on these if you want to and access the pages that way, or you've got them up here as well. But you know all the routes. The picture that I'm currently behind me right now, that's the route. It's from the capital to the mountains and back again. That's the gravel route, incredible gravel route. A little bit of information about each area. Once again, personal by me, my own personal feelings about it. Information about the weather in that area, public transport in that area, some local knowledge that I can give you. Amazing photos from the area, so you can get an idea of the difference between each area. It's really, really beautiful. Yeah, a few quotes on there. Day rides from Trondheim. Yeah. So. And if you switch to road, then the map changes as well. So we've got a different map here. Clever, eh? Clever, clever, clever. All right. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm not going to go into further detail. Members that join, you get all the detailed maps. You get all the view maps here. You get all the need to know section. Vast amount. It's basically a book. The need to know is like a book. Information on there, and then you get updates and such, and you have the private members page as well with discounts, brand discounts, etc. So yeah, and then for my German and French and of course Norwegian speaking people, guess what? Can you believe this? He's gone and translated the website into German and Norwegian. Most of it, I would say about, at the moment, maybe about 75%, 70%, something like that, is translated into German and Norwegian. And then we've got about maybe 20% translated into French, because the costs involved to do this are enormous. So we couldn't afford to do the whole of the website in French, but we've got the basics in French because we know there's a lot of French cyclists out there, and we know that English is perhaps not as well spoken as in other countries. So yeah, there you go. All right, let's get to the roots. So first one is, let's go to gravel. Also to Villmarks. So I couldn't think of a name for this, but it's an amazing route to do in May, and I'll just start by going into a little bit of detail about where we begin and such. So you start in Oslo, and you cycle to Lillestrøm, which is a small town on the outskirts of Oslo. Pretty boring cycling to Lillestrøm, just going through the city, traffic lights, stopping and starting, getting lost a little bit. So what you can do is just jump on a train, and that's what I do. I just jump on a train and go straight to Lillestrøm. Once you get to Lillestrøm train station, you're literally 5 minutes and you're out of the town, and you're onto the open roads. And the first part is just wide open roads with farm fields around you. There's a little bit of traffic as you're coming out of the town, so there's quite a bit of traffic coming out. So cars going past you 60 kilometers an hour. It's not a major deal. You come off at certain points onto quieter gravel tracks and then back onto the main road. But then once you get about 20 kilometers out from Lillestrøm, it just quietens down and you're into basically starting to get to forest area. Farmland starts to die off and the trees start to appear. And it just gets better and better and better. So basically, you're cutting right across the east of the country straight towards the Swedish border. And what you can do is the gravel kind of starts roughly here. There's a bit more paved and then it's gravel again. A fantastic little detour, which is just a bit of fun, is that you can go into Sweden through like a secret route where there's basically you're going through a gravel forest and there's just a tiny little sign that says Sweden. And it looks like you could be smuggling drugs going across the border. It's quite comical, this little border crossing. And then you come through the forest, beautiful forest in Sweden, and then you come back over the border, like the official main border, where there's like shopping mall and such from all the Norwegians that go to Sweden to buy the groceries because it's cheaper. And then there's a small town here. So I think the first night I left Oslo quite late, so I cycled to this town here and stayed in a small little bed and breakfast here. I think it's called Hotel Magnor. I stayed there. It was lovely. It was run by, I think it was a Polish lady who ran it, and it was just like really, really nice and very well priced. And then you're out into the sticks then. And basically what you do is day 2, you follow the Swedish border, and it's just rural forest. So just vast forest, a few lakes about. As you can see, there's a lot of lakes here, and lots of places where you can just wild camp, or the shelters, just really, really peaceful on your own. There's no one about. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up some photos. So let's make it a little bit interesting. So just to give you an idea, so that's kind of like some of the roads are like that, like just quite wide in places, and just no one. No traffic, nothing. I can't even remember how many. I think maybe 2 cars passed me like all day or something crazy like that. You'll see a lot of lakes, green, no like wow factor scenery, but just so away from it all and so traditional. Like this is an old industrial area where they used to do a lot of logging. So there's kind of like old settlement remains of the, going back 50 or 100 years. A lot of shelters, very easy to find. These are like, used by lumberjacks in the day. Now they're kind of used by hunters in September when they're hunting reindeer, whatever's a moose in that area. So most of them are open, and it's just very basic inside. With an area to lie on, and sometimes there's a fireplace, and sometimes there's even wood. But there are also more basic shelters as well, which I'll show you as well. This is Røros, which you don't reach. This is further north if you decide to do a longer version of the route. So I'll just show you a few more photos, and then we'll go back to the route. So you can see it's still. Yeah, so you got beautiful lakes, stunning lakes, which you'll pass by. Just, so remote. Really one of the remotest areas of Norway. That's why they call it the wilderness route in Norwegian. So here's another basic shelter. You can see it's a little bit more basic, that sort of shelter. Great to sleep under, obviously, because you got a roof and such. And this is not the sort of route you want. You don't really want to be doing this in July, because if you're sleeping there in July, you're just going to have mosquitoes all around you all night long, and it's going to be horrible. But I did this last year in May, and there was no mosquitoes, or there was a few about, but it wasn't a big deal. You put your DEET on and you're all right. I was thinking, God, July would be a nightmare. Once again, basic shelters. Some of these are not my photos. A friend who's done it as well. So there's a few different types of bikes on here. But there's a basic shelter. You even got a fireplace. But be careful with fires because you're not allowed to have a campfire between 15th of April and 15th of September, unless it's in a designated area which is authorized. And once again, yeah, so that's inside some of the cabins. Very, very basic. You got what you call a fireplace here. Sometimes you have some wood. Got a fire extinguisher, always handy. Wake up in the middle of the night and you're on fire. Yeah. So real traditional Swedish border, right there. That's the official one, the big Swedish border. Farms, a lot of farms that you go past as well, selling fresh products. So you can got an honesty box, traditional churches, etc. That's Rödos. Second World War, escape routes in this area. So a lot of people escaped to Sweden through this area. This is an official cabin where you have to pay to stay in. It's a train station. Yeah. So let's just go back to here. So all this is gravel through the roads you've just seen and the pictures you've just seen. And it's around 200 kilometers of just pure gravel, which is amazing. And then the second night I spent here, which is basically the only accommodation around in the whole area. It started raining the second night, so I didn't run a wild camp. So this was basically the only campsite available, and I managed to get a small cabin for like 35 euros or something, like a really small little basic cabin. With communal showers and toilets in a campsite block somewhere. Okay, and then basically the two options here is that you can do the whole route to Trondheim, which then once you get to about this area, it's paved roads. A lot of it's paved roads heading north. But I find that's like 800 odd kilometers. It's quite a lot to do if you don't have the time. This one is 450 kilometers. So I can do it in 3 days. It's perfect. Go on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Take the train back on Sunday and back at work. On Monday, it's really, really great. So what you do is from this area here, we're going to turn west and head to Lillehammer, where there's a train station that takes you back to Oslo. And this area is the ultimate gravel adventure. So what you have in Norway, which I find fascinating, is that you have these very, very long valleys where the main roads run through. So, for example, Lillehammer is in Gudbrandsdalen Valley, which is a massive long valley, 250 kilometers long. And then on either side, you've kind of got like mountains or hills, and then another valley on, whatever it is, 50, 60 kilometers to the east or west of it. So you have a valley basically here, where this main road is from Elderum going up here. And you've got the main Gudbrandsdalen Valley here, Gudbrandsdalen Valley. And then you've got this kind of, I wouldn't call it a mountain pass, it's more of a highland forest area. And it's just incredible to cycle. Like, we're talking fantastic gravel roads, very few people or no cars. And it's very, very difficult to get across because it's just random gravel roads going to cabins or going to farms and nothing really connecting. So my friend Ian did this a few years back, and he connected a route and he sent it me, and I went and cycled it, and it was perfect. I think there was 1 or 2 hiker bike sections where it's like literally 300 meters pushing your bike or carrying your bike to connect you from one road to the other, going through like a dirt track or something. That's it. And you're back onto a lovely road. And just the feeling when you get to Lillehammer, you're covered in mud, it's pure bikepacking, like the quintessential bikepacking you can imagine. It's not really for bike touring, this one. You're just buzzing. When you get to Lillehammer, you just had such an amazing adventure. And then just take the train back to Oslo. And that's it. What a route. What an unbelievable route. If you're bike touring, you could still do bike touring up to about here. And then I would recommend not going along here if you've got a really heavy bike. I would recommend carrying north or stopping and going down to Elderum and getting back onto the main road from there. But yeah, that is a classic. And as you can see, this is like the full route to Trondheim of the wilderness route. And kind of the one I've put in here is a shorter version. All right. So that's route number 1. Everybody doing okay? Yeah, so gravel routes. So we got some questions about tires. I had 35mm tires on when I did this. 35mm. I didn't find like I needed more, but I think 40 is comfortable. 40 is probably the best solution. And jumped on the train. So you didn't enjoy it. You didn't enjoy the old Swedish border gravel. You said it was too Norwegian gadget man. Didn't enjoy it. I didn't find it too difficult. I think with any sort of gravel routes in Norway in the forest, it's up and down, up and down, up and down, and it can be quite challenging in places. But I didn't find this one as hard as some of the other ones I've done. I think it's obviously it's up to kind of what you're after. That's the issue with routes, is that some routes are, are great for some people and not so great for others. So that's a good point. It's good you mentioned that, so people are aware. Let's see. Yeah, proper off-road tyres are an overkill, too heavy for long trips. I would agree on that. Are these live streams available somewhere after? They are for members of Cycle Norway. They go on to the members section, so you can watch them whenever you want. And I try to filter it out because I do waffle on, so I try to make it a little bit easier for you to just skip to what sections you want. Yes, Mr. Speedley. It is a great ride. How about going north to south, Trondheim to Oslo? Yeah, I mean, there's if you're referring to that route, that doesn't really matter. I think it's, if you have a look at the elevation gain, yeah, you can see if you start off in Trondheim, then you've got a bit of a climb to begin with for what's that, like 100 Ks, and then you basically slow descent down. So it's probably a little bit easier to do the whole route from Trondheim. If you're referring to a full gravel route from Trondheim to Oslo, I'll show you the Norwegian Great Divide on the website in a moment, because that's an epic route from Trondheim to Oslo. Like, I think at least 65% gravel, and we're talking 900 kilometers. Fantastic route. My trip was along the Swedish gravel roads in the 90s. In the 90s, baby. Remember the 90s, the good old days before the internet. All right. How about going north to south, Trondheim to Oslo? And someone said there, yeah, that that's a race as well. If you're referring to a race there, that's all on paved roads. Okay, moving on to the next amazing route to do in May. Let us continue. So, if you're not Norwegian, maybe you've not heard of Telemark, and you should have heard of Telemark. Some people, I heard of Telemark because of the Great Second World War sabotage story. It was called the Heroes of Telemark. It's an area of Norway. Once again, it's a traditional forest area of Norway. Was kind of like the Norwegian Industrial Revolution began there. Obviously, a lot smaller than other countries when it comes to Industrial Revolution, but it was very, very. It was kind of like the where all the money was coming from back in the day before oil and gas. A lot of logging and a lot of electricity was produced by rivers, fast flowing rivers in the area. So yeah, at one point I think a large part of electricity in Norway was powered from Telemark region. But today it's a sleepy, quiet place, and it is a dream to cycle and a hidden gem, because most people will either go to the fjords or maybe go to the north, which of course are fantastic to do as well, but this little gem of a place is worth checking out, and it's very, very easy to get to. So what I try to do on the maps is I try to give you as many variations and options as possible, so you can get a good idea of what's right for you. So Oslo's up here. There's Oslo, and you can take a train very easy with your bike. Just jump on. It's a regional train to Larvik. And from Larvik, you've got two options. You can follow the old main road, which is deadly quiet, or you can follow some gravel, some paved, kind of scenic road through this area here. And that brings you up to a place called Porsgrunn. Porsgrunn is a fantastic place to begin the adventure, but you can also start in Skien. And you have two options. One, you've got this amazing gravel route, so it starts about here, and that goes through the forest. Private land, once again, it's barriers on either side of the forest road, so there's no cars whatsoever, and a joy to cycle. Or you can jump on the boat. So there's Telemark Canal System, very famous canal system, which runs from Darlin here through all these lakes, and they're connected up all the way to Skien. And what happened is they used to do all the lumberjack, all the forest, cutting down the trees here, and then they'd send them all the way down to Skien, and then from there put on a train or something down to the port in Porsgrunn, and onto boats and away to wherever else in the world. Back in the day, they still do that today, I think, but I don't think it's transported on the boats anymore. So yeah, this is a canal boat that runs all the way, and it's a tourist boat now, and you can jump on it and get off at Ulefoss and start the adventure there. This boat doesn't start until mid to late May, so if you start earlier than that, it's best to take the gravel road. And personally, I would take the gravel road. It's far better than waiting for a boat. And then you basically follow the Telemark Canal route along, which is cycle route number 2, national cycle route number 2. And some of it is grassy parts, like grassy roads, and over it's gravel roads, and some of it's tarmac. And you're going past old locks where the canals are, and it's just a beautiful ride. And there's one point where you ride right by the canal on this old abandoned road, and it's one of my favorite little places to ride. So once you hit the major lakes here, these are beautiful. You go on paved roads around the major lakes here. There's places where you can wild camp, a few, not many, but there's a few places you can wild camp, and there's a few official camping sites in the area. There's a 400-meter climb up here. It brings you out with fantastic views of the area. And then you've got a gravel road along this lake, very, very quiet. And then you've got another gravel road down here. And this is a gem. A private road again, absolute gem. You can see this is quite steep. So you've got a lake with these steep mountains beside it. And then you arrive in Darlin. And Darlin is a historic old town. I would call it more of a village. It's tiny, really, with a historic hotel that used to house the kings of Norway as they traveled through the country back in the day on horse and carriage. So once you get to Darlin, you've got basically two options. You can either continue heading north, you've got three options really. You can continue heading north on the main cycle route number 2 and head up to Røken, which I talked about was the Industrial Revolution began in Norway. It's a World Heritage Town, and this is going over a barren mountain pass area, so you climb up to about 1,000 meters here. The other option is you can head towards Stavanger and head towards Lisa Bottom and Lisa Fjorden here, and go across the Hardangervidda, or the mountain range here. But what I would, for me, if I'm doing this as a weekend trip or what have you, I did this 2 years as a weekend trip. I took the train to Porsgrunn, I cycled to Darlin, and then I came back the other side. So what I've done on here, I'll show you the pictures in a moment. I'll go through that in a moment. What I've done here is added that, I think. Yeah, so I've added here, one of the options. So once I get to Darlin, you can just follow. There's a bit of a main road you have to be on here for a short period of time. It's wide, it's not a big deal. And then you've got some gorgeous, quiet roads. You follow back on yourself a little bit here, and then there's gravel up, and then it's quiet roads back to Porsgrunn, and you jump on the train and back to Oslo. I did this over the weekend again, 3 days, 325. I think I did like 100 kilometers a day. It was just chilling out, easy, wild camped for the 3 nights, no problems whatsoever. I think I've got some great wild camping photos somewhere. So let's just give you an idea of what it looks like. So this is Røken. This is the sabotage place in the Second World War. It's the cold water, or the hard water factory where they were producing some sort of water that they use in nuclear bombs. As you can see, I'm really knowledgeable on this. That's the sort of views you get: lakes, forest, rocky mountains, hidden gem. This is a sauna by Darlin that you can book online with an app. really, really nice, and just go swimming in there and warm up. These once again, the sort of scenery that you're going to be cycling around and through, just really nice. It's the historic Telemark Canal information, so you get a lot of information about the area as you're cycling through. Just wonderful, wonderful. As you can see the roads here. That's the Valley and Lurken, so it's a bit further north. This is where I wild camped one night, right by the lake. So I just went for a dip in the evening in the lake, and it was, oh man, great wild camping experience. You see a beautiful evening as well. This is the boat I talked about. So this is the famous Telemark canal boat you can get on. It's a tourist boat. Lots of deer. You'll see a lot of deer and moose in the forest. Yeah, they're everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. The deers will be jumping out in front of you as you're cycling. I mentioned there was a 400-meter climb, and this is it. So a little bit of switchbacks, and you can see the views at the top are fantastic. So yeah, and there's add-ons as well. Once again, I've added on extra possibilities. There's another gravel route a little bit further north. You just see how much information is on here, and like photos. So talk about the detour to do the gravel route instead of taking the boat on here. And then members send in information to me. So last year someone sent me information that one of the gravel roads that was on the national cycle routes is closed off. So we just document that, and then we put this on the map so you guys are aware. So every feedback, when I get feedback off people who are going off, I can, put these photos, put this information on these pages. It just keeps everything so up to date, and you're just aware of everything. I mean, imagine turning up here and you're like, oh, for God's sake, it's closed and you don't know where to go. So yeah, like I say, we're trying to update. There's my wild camping. How about that for a wild camping spot? Free, baby, free. And that water was not that cold, and it was so refreshing. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful place. A lot of moose. And that's a little bit further north, as I talked to you about before, about if you go up on the higher lands over 1,000 meters, if you continue. So that's the second one. My goodness, we've nearly been talking for 40 minutes. And that's the website, guys. So 2 routes I highly recommend doing if you are in Norway in May, or perhaps maybe you come next year. Definitely don't underestimate them. Telemark Canal route you can do. There isn't that much mosquitoes. There isn't as many mosquitoes in the forest there. So it's sort of the route you can do in June and July and August as well. But the wilderness route, I really recommend keeping away from that in July, especially. There's just too many mosquitoes for my liking, at least. Yeah. So don't forget about the photo competition. I'm going to upload that, and I want to talk to you a little bit about event. I'm going to make a video about this. I'm going to promote it a little bit better. At the moment we've got about 35 people signed up, but I'm aiming for 60. And the Troll Singing event will be happening on the 12th of September to the 14th of September. The 12th, we're going to meet in this beautiful lodge in the middle of the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. It's completely rented out. The manager has rented, or the owner has rented it out especially for me. That's why I really want to try to get 60 people, because I feel a lot of pressure to fill it for the guy, because he's exclusively booked this for me. And then we're going to do Orsjøveien, which is a famous gravel route over an incredible mountain pass with 2 spectacular valleys in Fjord, Norway. So that'll be day 1, and then day 2 we're going to drive to Trollstigen, and we're going to be doing the Troll route for day 2, and then in the evening we're going to have a fantastic meal at the top of Arndalsnes. So it's going to be an amazing 2.5 days to 3 days experience. It's not that expensive if you're already here in Norway, or you can get to Norway. We're going to keep the costs down as much as we can. So go on to cyclenorway.com/event and check it out, and just fill in the form. Let me know if you're interested, or you can contact me at info@cyclenorway.com. And yeah, how are we doing here, guys? Any information? Going on my first big bike trip from Bergen to North Cape next month. Woohoo! Get in there. That is a big trip. How many days do you think I should plan? Okay, so Bergen to Nordkapp. Well, it depends on how far you're going to cycle a day. Most people cycle between, say, like 80 to 100 kilometers a day, and Bergen to Nordkapp is around 2,000 or so, or maybe just over 2,000. So do the maths. You could probably do it in 20 days. Maybe you want some rest days as well. So maybe just say 25 days. You might do it less, depending on how far you cycle. But an awesome journey. And remember, if you're running out of time, you can always jump on the boat. There's lots of ports along the way. You can just jump on the boat and skip sections if need be. Canal route in August, many mosquitoes. I've never cycled it in August. I'll be honest with you. So, okay, that's good to know. I didn't find that. I think I did it in late June, early July once, and I didn't have too many issues. But it all depends on the rainfall, and it can depend on the wind and things like that. Cause it can be quite windy there, so maybe I got lucky. But that's good to know then. Unfortunately, there are going to be mosquitoes at times in the forest. Tidemark has everything apart from flat roads. That is very, very true. It's up and down like this, but oh my god, it's an incredible place. I think the mosquitoes in the north and in the south are pretty similar in size, to be honest. I haven't noticed big differences. We took the canal boat to Darlin and back to Ulefoss. A good portion of our ride wasn't along the canal. It was very nice and little traffic. Yeah. The sections where you are along the canal, but most of it you're going through the forest area. It's not much traffic, as you say, Randy. We cycled this route last year. I don't recall it. Yeah, I don't think it's as dense mosquito-wise as other places, Telemark. Heavy water, that's the word. Heavy water factory, thank you. That's the Second World War factory. The Germans were trying to create a nuclear bomb with heavy water. And famous Norwegian saboteurs came along and destroyed the factory and then escaped to Hardangervidda, which is like a barren, extremely cold environment, and they survive skiing, and that's an incredible story. Read up about it. It's one of the true greats. What does the dark red bicycle sign stand for? I don't know. What red bicycle sign stand for? I'm not sure. I don't know what you mean. I hope to join the Trollgren ride. Woohoo! Doing Copenhagen to Oslo, Bergen this summer. Can't wait. Sounds like great. That's a great trip. Copenhagen to Oslo, flat roads through Sweden, very, very nice. And then also to Bergen. One of my favorites. All information on the website if you want to find more. All right, it's 20:43. If you have any other questions, you can contact me at info@cyclenorway.com. I'll be back in June, hopefully. I've got a lot of projects going on. I'm going to the north of Norway for a project, and I'm going around some southern parts of Norway as well, so I'm going to be away for a few weeks, but I'll try and get some live streams in as soon as I can when I'm back, and I hope to start making some videos again soon. I've still got some bugs to fix on the website. There's still issues. It's a never-ending nightmare of problems, and I'm sat in front of a computer screen too much, but super proud of what has been achieved in a short period of time on a budget as a one-man band. I hope you enjoy the website. I hope if you can join, you support me, and that all that money doesn't go to me buying fancy clothes or spending it on drugs and alcohol. It just goes back into the website, designing it, improving it, adding more content. So I really appreciate everybody who's joined and supported. Enjoy the summer season. Enjoy your cycling experiences wherever you are in the world. And if you are coming to Norway, I wish you an amazing journey. We will talk again soon, guys. Thanks for watching.